Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at Real Deal Talk, and you know what? I meant before the interview here, my guy, my brother, right? Is it brother? You say it like a V, brother?
I'll probably say brother.
Brother, okay.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Wherever you want to go.
Jacques, and I always meant to ask you how to pronounce your name.
Jacques
Right?
Cesaire.
Cesaire,
Yeah.
not Cesar.
Nah, not Cesaire. Cesaire.
Cesaire.
Yeah, there you go. Nah, I mean that was pretty good.
That was
that
Cesaire.
It was a little bit half like 70s porn voice, and then the other half is like a pilot on a plane.
So Jacques and I met through our children's school.
Yeah.
Morning Creek Elementary, Scripps Ranch. We both live in the same community in Scripps. And so our kids go to the same school. I remember we were at it was at a charity party.
A party, yeah.
And I was hanging out in this, I remember like in one of their outside things, and you rolled in.
Connected right away.
And you looked at me, and I looked at you.
It was big energy.
And there was big energy going on. And you looked at me and said, yo, bro, you and I are going to be friends.
Yeah, we locked.
That's what you said to me.
Yeah.
You said, bro, you and I are going to be friends. I can tell.
Yeah.
You remind me of my college roommate or something.
Now, you know what it was? We did the same handshake that Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger did in Predator. And I knew right then and there, I was like, all right, did we just become best friends? Yeah. I knew right then.
You do, come on.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this, you know, if you were around during that time, you know the handshake,
Yeah,
and then the biceps, right?
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Nah,
dude,
that was a fun party, and we hit it off quite well that night.
we hit it off. So we've been friends ever since. And Jacques here used to play for the Chargers for 9 seasons, right?
You can say it, San Diego Chargers.
San Diego Chargers. You know, do you think
Love them. San Diego deserves a football team.
Do you think they'll ever come back?
I don't know what the rules are and things like that, and things happen.
Things happen.
And, shoot, the Rams came back.
So you're not answering that question.
It's none of my business.
It's none of your business?
All
right.
What I love for the San Diego Chargers come back, absolutely. San Diego deserves a football team.
I agree.
You know, and we were rolling back in the days, and it was great football, and the city was alive. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. LT. Sean Merriman, Sean Phillips, Luis Castillo, Jamal Williams. You know, it was a good time.
You can't duplicate
Phillip Rivers. Come on, man.
Albert Drew.
Yeah,
you can't duplicate
Gates.
the energy. Oh, Gates,
Man,
bro.
Come on.
You can't duplicate an energy that a solid football team can bring to a city.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the problem? What was the problem? And we're getting on a tangent here already.
A little bit.
But why we just couldn't fill the stadium? There wasn't enough money involved.
I don't know what.
There's too much to do here in San. What's the theory?
I don't know.
There's too much to do in San Diego.
I feel like yes, there is a lot to do in San Diego.
Right.
But I also feel like when the whole stadium thing should have happened when the Chargers were winning. 04 they went 12-4. We little hiccup in 05, but then 06 14-2, 07 AFC Championship game, 08 you have that walk-off run by Sproles versus the Colts. So we have all this momentum. The city's alive. It's electric. That's when we should have tried to get a stadium.
Right.
Right. It's unfortunate that they left. It's unfortunate that they left. It's unfortunate for the city. It's unfortunate for youth football around here.
Yeah.
I thought one of my favorite things to do was go to some of these Pop Warner fields, AYF fields, some of these high schools, and just pour into the kids and let them see what a professional football player looks like, or just that being around those type of people that inspires kids.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that San Diego doesn't have that anymore.
It is, and now that you're talking about it, I'm bummed about it. Before I didn't even care. Now you got me all up in my feelings about it now.
Yeah,
because you're right.
Well, being right now I live in Houston, and being in a city that you want to talk about a whole county that absolutely loves football.
So real quick, tell the listeners and watchers, you're defensive line coach for Houston Texans now, right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm the defensive line coach for the Houston Texans.
Nice.
And
give me the whole atmosphere. Just crazy.
Yeah, just people love football. Wow. You're in a. I mean, the whole state loves football, but
Yeah.
particularly in that area, they just love football. They take it very, very seriously. Whether it's 7-on-7, spring ball, whatever it may be, they absolutely love football, and you can kind of feel and see the difference when people are talking about, okay, this is a diehard football town, as opposed to, well, there's a lot to do in San Diego.
Right? That's the theory, right? There's too much to do here.
Yeah, well, I mean,
The beach,
the weather.
The weather.
The weather is beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's the best.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It really is. I was in Buffalo, New York for 2 years, and
How was that?
it was freezing.
Freezing.
Literally, it was cold. There was a lot of snow. There was some rainy days. There was some dark, gloomy days. But that town loved football. They absolutely love football.
Wow.
The town shuts down on Sunday, and that's the only thing that matters. I mean, really, they start parking RVs on Friday.
Are you serious?
And they start this party, Bill's Mafia. That was a real thing now.
Yeah.
They start this party on Friday, and that thing goes all the way till Sunday night.
Wow.
And you feel that energy, and you want to come out, and the guys want to perform for the fans, and they want to give them good football and wins and all that thing. So just being around that, and then now going into Houston, seeing all that. And I'm not saying San Diego isn't a football town. We certainly are a football town. When I first got here, this was a football town.
Right.
I'm just saying we just didn't have enough people beating down the doors saying,
Yeah.
hey, look, let's get a stadium done. Let's get something done to keep the NFL in San Diego. America's greatest city.
America's finest city.
Finest city.
And you're exactly right, bro. When they were on top and things were flowing,
Yeah.
that's when you go after the stadium.
Yeah. Making
Not when they're in a lull.
Yeah, I mean, I was way done by then.
Yeah.
But still, I remember when they were all making a push. They got LT out there, and they got Gates out there, and they got Phillip out there. They introduced a new coach, and they're trying to really make that push for the stadium. I was like, all right, maybe this thing's gonna really happen. Then all of a sudden, it just
Nothing. Fizzled.
It was really sad. It was really sad.
Anyway.
But on to some good stuff.
All right,
man.
so
this is
enough-
amazing over here.
Yeah, you like this, huh?
Yeah.
So all right, so here's how we do it. I know you've watched the show a little bit, so now we're going to go back, and I'm going to peel a couple of layers back from
All right.
from Jacques Cesaire.
Very good.
Yeah, I nailed it. So, Mr. Jacques, and you're in your 40s now, huh?
I am.
I didn't think you'd ever get there.
I'm 41 years young.
Wow, unbelievable.
Yes, sir.
You're still a young buck to me, though.
I'm young, but I'm young.
You're a young buck.
Young, yeah.
So Jacques here, let's go back. Where were you? I have absolutely no idea where you were born and raised or where you're from.
Okay. I was born in Massachusetts.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Worcester, Mass. Not the biggest football as far as high school football is concerned. But born in Massachusetts, moved around a lot when I was younger. We settled in this town called Gardner, Massachusetts.
Why'd you move around a lot?
Yeah, my parents were young and they were just moving all over the place at the time. And,
From city to city or state to state?
I mean, we'd be in Michigan one year.
Really?
I was living in Ohio, South Bend, Indiana.
You're kidding me.
Lived in New York, Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts. Just moving around.
For what?
Just trying to find a spot to stay.
Really?
Yeah, and just
Jersey?
Raise a family. We're a family of 5. Parents were immigrants. They were hardworking people. Mother worked 16 hours.
Okay, tell me about the immigrant thing, because that's where the last name came from.
Yeah. My parents are from Haiti, and so they were immigrants, and they didn't know anything about football or basketball or anything like that. They knew soccer, But I mean, I was a pudgy kid. I wasn't getting on that soccer field.
There's no way.
Way too much running. All right. So, but
maybe goalie, maybe.
Yeah. Just stand there, just hand out here, hand out here, and but no, it was a big education push in my house, and everything was about education. And you gotta be a doctor, you gotta be a lawyer, you gotta be an engineer, and you gotta work hard and things like that. Those were always being instilled in us, always being talked about in our family. And me and my brother, once we kind of settled in one area, we started getting into organized sports. I'd say around like 5th or 6th grade.
5th or 6th grade. And how is your brother younger or older than you?
He's 2 years older than me. Actually lives in Scripps himself, too.
What?
Yeah, coaches at La Jolla Country Days.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, coach at La Jolla Country Day. Jacques Cesaire, one of the best offensive coordinators in San Diego.
That's him?
That's him. He said, he had...
What's his first name?
Carmi.
Yeah.
He had Braxton Burmeister over there. I think he's at San Diego State now.
Wow.
He's had a few quarterbacks over there that have broken some records. So he's a big air raid guy. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And so both parents were from Haiti.
Both parents from Haiti, both hardworking people, moved around a lot, finally settled in Gardner, Massachusetts, started getting into sports at a young age around, like I said.
So just you and your brother and any sisters?
5th and 6th grade, yeah. So it's me and my brother, then we have 2 sisters, and then I have another younger brother.
Oh, wow. So 5.
Yeah,
5 total.
Yeah,
wow.
5 in total, yeah.
I thought you were including the parents in the 5.
No, 7 with the parents. So,
yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. So, it was then in those early stages, 5th, 6th grade, that started playing sports, and a lot of parents always ask me, how did you make it from a small town and then get to the NFL and play for so long in the NFL? Now I'm a coach and things like that. And one piece of advice I always give parents.
Yeah.
I always give parents. I would say, you want your kid to quote unquote make it or whatever like that, he's gonna have to want it himself. He or she is gonna have to want it themselves.
Right.
They got to go after it themselves, and that was the biggest thing. Now, did I have somebody pushing me? Yeah, my brother would push me every step of the way. Those days when I felt like I don't want to do this anymore, I want to quit. My brother was there to push me over that hump.
Yep.
And me and him have this motto: keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, keep it moving. No matter what's going on, life is going to throw all types of crazy stuff at you every day. Keep it moving.
Yep.
Just keep it moving. Stay consistent. Have a goal, have a purpose. I think me and you were talking about that earlier.
Right.
Have that purpose and have that drive and go after it. A lot of parents think they can just will their kid to make it. And that's not the point. I don't want my kids to play sports to play professionally.
Right.
I want them to play sports, because where else are you going to learn that much discipline? Okay, that much structure, how to work hard. You get knocked down, you got to get up now. There's so many things about youth sports that can impact young people's lives. It's crazy, but we as parents, we as people, all we think about is the end result, professional. I want this kid to play professional sports. Yeah. No, that's not the thing. Make them fall in love with the process. The process is what's going to make them be successful later on in life. Because no matter what, sports is going to end.
Yeah.
No matter what, sports is going to end for everybody. No matter what, sports is going to end. When it does, you're going to have something that you really truly love and want to I don't like to use the word fall back on. I'm just saying something that's going to make you continually grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you ain't growing, you're dying.
You're dying. That's right. and to your point, bro, this is a great topic. We're going to go on this for a little bit. We're gonna flow on this because I got goosebumps talking about this because I talk about it all the time.
You really do have.
I do.
I thought it was just cold in here.
No.
Like, can we get a?
I'm fired up about.
Okay.
I'm fired up that this topic came up because you hit it right away, man. Everybody, the educational system is completely flawed at this point.
Yeah.
In school, they're teaching them how to basically do well on a test.
Right.
Sports, organized sports, is where you actually learn life lessons.
Yeah.
You just said it. Discipline, respect, how to take direction, how to work with teammates.
Absolutely.
You're accepted by a team. You're being accepted.
Yeah.
That's what life's about, is all the things that are taught in sports. You don't find that in school. Yeah. You just don't.
Yeah. Then you got all these different teammates,
Yeah.
all these different cultures coming at you, and it's just that's why I want my son and my sons and daughter to play sports, is because that what they're getting every single day, whether it's on the softball field, baseball field, basketball, football, soccer, whatever it is, what they're getting every day is literally setting themselves up for success in the future.
Correct.
And so, to me, the sprinkles on the cake. Okay, kid has some exceptional qualities and ability, and that pushes him towards being a star in high school. Great, more sprinkles on the cake.
Right.
Okay, now this kid can go to school. I'm not even talking about a free education. He just can some team wants them on the team, so he can partial scholarships or at least, take out some loans, yada, 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 so they can go to school, 4-year university. Great. More sprinkles on the cake. They get a full scholarship. Shoot, now, that money that you're saving up for your kids, okay, now that's your vacation fund. That's now you get to go and relax with that, or you can just give that to them so they can start life. But either case, it's less than 1%.
Yeah, I was just going to say. I was just going to literally say, what are the odds?
Yeah.
And again, it's like, and not only that, not only the structure, the discipline, the honor, the how to take direction, how to be, because in order to be a good leader, Jacques, would you agree with this? Mm-hmm. You have to be a good follower. You have to be led. You have to be able to be led in order to lead.
Yeah, I mean. Right now, being the defensive line coach, I lead 14 men right now, possibly more for training camp. And to me, there's a couple things about leadership that are important to me. First thing is leadership is inspiration. Okay, I got it. In order for me to be a leader, I need to be able to inspire you to do something you don't want to do.
Correct.
That's the first thing. Second thing, leadership is best coupled with performance. You better be able to do something, bring something to the table in order to say, like, yeah, I'm one of the team leaders. I'm a guy that's going to be a leader. And you're right. Part of leadership is servant leadership, okay? You better be able to humble yourself enough that I don't know all the answers, but together we know all the answers.
Right.
You teach your kids those 3 aspects of leadership every day and just push that onto them. Hey, go out there and inspire somebody. Okay, make sure that while you're inspiring somebody, if a coach needs to tell you something, or maybe another player says, hey, you could do this better, okay, listen to them.
Yeah.
Open up to them, okay, receive that type of information and go out and apply that information, okay. And the next thing is, you got a ball.
Yeah.
You just plain and simple, you got to produce. You got to focus, you got to produce, go out there and do your thing, because then that's when you can truly lead.
Correct.
And so all those aspects you're going to get from sports. I tell every single guy in my room, every single one of you guys are leaders. Every single one of you guys. Yep. You guys are leaders on this team. You guys are leaders within this room. Shoot, you guys inspire me. Okay, so every single one of you guys are leaders. And I think every parent should be telling their kid that, no matter what they've, because everybody brings some kind of value to whatever organization or whatever system that they're doing, whether it be a team, school, class, a play, whatever it may be. Everybody has to bring some kind of value,
That's right. And leadership is influence.
Oh, absolutely.
Influence.
Yeah.
And let's go further with this. Nowadays, in this climate that we're in right now, the economical climate and the climate with devices, and I see so many parents that don't have their kids in sports or dance or taekwondo, whatever.
Right.
Get them in something.
Right, something.
Because if they're not doing something, what are they doing nowadays? They're on a freaking device. Their head is buried in a device.
Right.
You can't keep them off it. It's impossible.
Right. And
right.
And I would say to those parents, because this is a real good topic too.
Yes.
Right? How much screen time and all that.
Yeah.
First of all, the future is computers. Okay.
100%.
It's programming, computers, everything that we're gonna be doing. Now they're talking about the metaverse and things like that. I embrace all of that. I'm not scared of any of that. I embrace all of that. Okay, because it's just the future. That's just what's coming.
Yep.
And there's no stopping it. Okay. What they're getting out of that screen time, make sure that's something that's going to make them grow. Yeah. As I was watching this one
that's
game.
Pretty simple.
My son was playing this one game. It was called like Paper.io or something like that. He's just going around in a circle and just eating stuff with this like little snake thing. I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying to be positive about this. What can this do for his growth right now? What is he learning right now? Where is he growing? Where is he developing? Everything like that. If I don't see no development in anything, any development in it, in it, then I'm gonna be like, hey, switch the game up, or hey, let's go play catch. Hey, let's go play ball. Let's go shoot around. Let's do something active or something like that. Because there's some games out there that are just mindless games.
Yeah, mindless.
Right, but there's some things out there for the kids that actually help them develop and things. I'm cool with that.
That's a great point.
Know? And I'm not one of those guys because, like I said, when we were growing up, I'm sure our parents were probably like, "Look at these kids, they're so lazy and this and that." And blah, blah. I used to walk 40 miles an hour, 40 miles, to school in the snow and stuff like that. And they're looking at us like we're lazy. You know, we're looking at our kids the same way. Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, just embrace whatever they're doing, limit it, make sure that it's developing them, helping them grow and everything like that, and just don't shy away from having them do some kind of physical activity. I don't care what it is.
What is it? Anything.
Take them for a walk.
And anything. Get them in, because not only the development because life is really hard. Like when you get older and you have actual responsibilities, when you actually start paying your bills and you say, dude, life is a bitch. It really absolutely is. Yeah. So in order to get them prepared, sports activities is going to be their best preparation, not school. Listen, don't get me wrong here. They got to go to school, learn how to read and write, blah, blah, blah. But the actual training of how to operate in this world as a productive human being that's going to inspire others, that's going to lead others is through sports. And on top of this, Jacques, how many kids nowadays are freaking obese or fat, even in their like 7, 8, 9 years old? How many? A lot.
Yeah. I mean,
sports will keep you in better shape on top of the mental aspect, right? So physically, for development, it's important.
No, I 100% agree. And even if it's not even sports, I mean, there's plays you can get into. There's music. There's just something that teaches you a process and a discipline.
Yep.
Okay, that is gonna take you far in life. I'm not even gonna lie. There's I remember coaching my son in flag football when he was 4 years old. Okay, I'll never forget it. And there's a bunch of little kids on the team, and there's some kids I'm like, okay, well, that kid's never going to play sports ever in his life. I don't even know what his parents are doing with him out here. But, they get him out there. Yeah. And the thing is, like, not everybody's going to be Michael Jordan or Steph Curry or Kobe Bryant. Not every person is going to be like that. And don't force your child to be that way. But there's so many things that you can do as a parent, so many resources you can give that kid besides that phone. There's so many resources you get. There's free programs at the YMCA. There's just so many different things that you can put your child in so they can get disciplined, fall in love with a process, and in turn, those are the things. Those are the kind of like the fundamental building blocks for them to be successful later on in life.
Yeah.
Unless they get into some kind of crypto, and then it's just a rabbit. I mean, I don't know.
Right?
Hey, like, hey, Dad, I did crypto and I made a whole bunch of money. I was, hey, great, good for you, buddy.
Yeah. Give Dad some now. Right, yeah. Pay the piper. Pay the piper. Yeah. We could. This topic, I love this topic, man, because because listen, what are we doing here, right? As human beings, as men, father figures, we're raising children. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the most important way, or the best way that we're going to change this world and make a difference is our legacy is our children, through our children.
Absolutely.
When we're gone, that's all we got is them carrying the torch, and however we raise them, whatever we sowed into them, right? Yeah. This is beautiful. So, all right, go back. So now, where were you? We're back where you started playing sports, right?
Oh
yeah, that's right.
Did we get off on a tangent?
Hold on, let me one question here. Yeah. It'll probably put us on another tangent.
Okay.
At what point? At what age? Right now. Because we both, I'm also been coaching your son on my flag football team.
Fabulous! Shout out to JD. He's doing a fabulous job coaching youth football in San Diego.
Yes,
okay? You want your kid to get better and to develop and have fun at the same time. Send your kid JD's way.
So that's right. Hey, you know what I'm saying? All right. So the question is, because out here back east we didn't have flag football. No. We went right into Pop Warner and started tackling immediately, at age, I don't even remember, 8, 9.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so nowadays, Jacques, coming from an NFL football player.
Oh, geez, here we go.
All right. What age do you feel right now is the time that's appropriate for them to put pads on and start hitting? And don't just answer the macho right away.
No.
Give it to me.
When they're ready.
when they're ready.
When they're ready.
Because Corey Withrow, your old teammate, right,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
was on this podcast, and he shared his insight on this exact topic.
What did he say?
I'm not going to tell you what he said.
High school?
No, would you stop?
No, because some people say
he had a
high
number.
school.
He had an actual age.
Yeah,
where don't do it earlier than this because there's no reason to.
Right. And here's
how do you know when they're ready?
Here's my thing. Okay, I've been around sports my whole entire life, youth sports and everything like that. They're just not hitting that hard at a young age.
Right.
And some are, some aren't. Some are better than others and everything like that. There's some kids that might just be standing out there. When a kid is ready, when a young boy is ready, and I think little girls and boys, anybody can play football if they want to.
Right.
And I think it's one of the best, the greatest sport in the world that gives you all that you want, all the things that we just talked about, that little microcosm of life that shapes young men and women, are all right there on the football field every single day. Whether through practice, film, games, you're gonna learn some kind of life aspect on the football field. And for me, I used to think about this all the time because I have sons, and right now one of my sons is ready. He's like, "Hey, Dad, I want to play football." And his mother's not ready for him to play ball or anything like that yet. And for me, I never wanted to.
He's playing flag.
Yeah, he's playing flag. But I've never wanted to be the dad that said, "No, you're playing this, you're playing that, whatever." I just like, hey, whatever you want to do, I'll support you. I'll get you all the resources that you need. I'll support you, but you got to work though. You got to go out there and do your very best. And I just feel that it's up to the kid. If the kid feels like he's ready to go play ball, let him put some pads on and go play ball.
Okay.
And we've been doing this for a long time. NFL football has been around for a long time. There's been a lot of guys that have been playing for a very, very long time at a young age. Like I said, I started playing ball when I was in 5th grade, 6th grade.
It was 5th grade? 6th grade, yeah.
And pads on, everything. I'm pretty sure my first year playing football, I was just staring at the cheerleaders the whole time. I don't think I did anything on the football field.
Again, life lessons.
Coach had me out there, and I was just standing there like, what do you want me to do out here? You know? And I wasn't ready, but back in the day, they just threw you out there.
Got it.
But
yes.
If you have a kid that says, I'm ready to play tackle, I want to play tackle, now he has some kind of like purpose, he has some kind of drive, he has some kind of reason where he feels like he's ready to go and take a next step into life.
Right, yeah.
That's a big step when a kid says, hey, I'm ready to put some pads on and have this contract with this other guy where we just bang heads for, the next, 20, 30, 40 minutes or whatever. That's a big step for a young kid, whatever, young woman or young lady or male that says, hey, I'm going to go out here and do that. That's a big step for them to take.
Yeah,
and so
big.
Who am I to say, no, you're not ready? What did I just do there?
Yeah.
I just told him, well, now he's going to be unsure of himself because he just came up with a thought process in his head, or she came up with this thing like, hey, I think I'm ready to go do this. And all of a sudden now here comes the person that I trust the most, the person that loves me the most, and they say, no, you ain't ready for that?
Yeah.
It puts doubt in their head right away.
Yeah.
So my kid says, hey, I'm ready to do this. Yeah, go ahead.
It's okay. Let's do it.
Go ahead, because I don't want my kid, when they're done, when they get out from under my payroll, okay? Love you guys.
Yeah.
All right, when they get out from under that and they go out into this world, I don't want them to fear anything.
Right.
Okay? I always tell my kids, fear, false expectations appearing real.
Yep.
I don't want them to fear anything. Fear and doubt stop more people in this world from being great, from being who they want to be, from going out and achieving everything they want in life. Fear and doubt have more to do than anything else in the world. So I never want to foster any type of fear and doubt in my children.
Yeah.
At all.
Love that.
Whatsoever.
Zero.
Whatsoever. If there's a reason why they can't do something or we don't let them do something, I better come up with some pointed reasons why they're not doing it.
Right.
Because if they say, hey, I'm ready to do this, yeah, go ahead, go do it.
I love that
because
you know what the number one trait for a great leader is? Like people are going to follow? Confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Confidence, right? When you follow leaders that are freaking competent, And that breeds confidence, dude. I love that, man. That was a great answer.
Yeah, I used to tell I still use this line every day when I meet either young rookies, anybody really. It could be a 12-year NFL vet. I don't care who it is. I tell them the same thing every time. Let no man take your confidence away. Let no man take your confidence away. Every day, someone's trying to take a piece of your confidence. Okay, every single day, whether it's the opponent, the offense coordinator, defense coordinator, the head coach, the fans, the radio, TV, Twitter now, social media, all the social media deals. Someone's always trying to take your confidence away. Someone's always trying to make you doubt yourself. Sometimes it's the person that's staring right back at you in the mirror, trying to take your confidence away. You have to, that confidence, you got to guard that thing with your life, okay?
Yeah.
Because, like I said, fear causes people to not want to do things. It slows them down, doubt, all that stuff. Just be confident no matter what happens, I'm good.
Yep.
Keep pushing forward. No matter what happens, I am good. I tell myself all the time. I have, I'm not going to say I have no fears, but I got no fears. I mean, I just, but besides, what every parent probably dreads, I have no true fears because I know no matter what happens in life, I'm good. I'm good. I'm betting on myself.
Yep.
Bet on myself. I'm good. I can tell right now, walking around this whole shop right now, that's your mentality. You're good. You got a big old freaking line sitting right behind your head right now. Just it's been staring at me for a minute, like I want to eat your ass right now. Okay, can you swear on this?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whatever you
sorry,
want to do.
Awaken Church. Okay.
Awake.
Okay.
You let it fly, dude. This is
all right. And so
you let it fly.
The confidence helps you go out and say, well, I'm gonna go out and start my own business and do my own thing and raise my kids the way I want to do it and go through life the way I want to go through life.
Yeah.
And if you lose that, a little bit of that, it's just not a good thing.
Would you say this like pretty much the same thing as self-esteem?
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. In life.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Yeah, self-awareness is huge.
Huge.
Know who you are, love who you are, be okay with who you are.
Yes, and know your faults. Know what you're not good at.
Yeah.
That's self-awareness.
100%.
I see so many people that have just zero self-awareness, and they're just screwing shit up, and they don't even realize it because they just have no self-awareness. Zero.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're not good at something. It doesn't mean that you can't try it.
Yeah.
But just understand, okay, hey, this is where I need to allocate more resources to. I need more work on. All right. I read this great book one time. It's by Carol Dweck. It's called Mindset. Everybody needs to get this book. It's a great book, right?
Yep.
And it talks about a closed mindset and an open mindset and how a lot of people go through life, right? Hey, I'm not good at math. So they never try. They don't try. Every time something math-related comes in, they avoid it at all times. Okay, where somebody else might say, I'm not good at math right now, but I will be one day. Just need to work on it.
Right.
Open mindset that no matter what, I can get something done. I can do this as long as I put in the work. That's self-awareness. Okay, and a lot of people think, well, I'll never get that done anyways, or I don't have time to do that, or I'm too scared to do that, or someone told me a long time ago I'm not really good at this, so I'm not even gonna try. Nah, dog, like this self-awareness. I'm not there yet, but I can get there. Might take me some time, but I can get there. And so that's how I was always live my life.
That goes along with confidence. Once again, confidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need it, and I tell my kids all the time, like I said, let no man take your confidence away.
It's so big.
At all.
So big.
Yeah.
That's what life is really, just right there. Right there. If you want to have the best chance at living a great life, one that's with fulfillment and purpose.
Oh, go on now. He's trying to get me started right now.
Right, hold on. We got off another tangent. All right,
Purpose-driven life. Go ahead.
All right, hold on. Let's go back. Where were we? Where were we in fifth grade?
Yeah.
All right, we were in fifth grade. You started sports.
Yeah, I'm just staring at the cheerleaders.
You're just staring at the cheerleaders.
Yeah,
all right,
and,
your parents had moved all around, which
yeah.
is crazy in itself to me.
And I was about, I would say, probably sixth grade. I was like 5'10", 6'5", 6'7", maybe 160 pounds. I was a
That's-
little chubby. Okay,
that's big.
Yeah, I like to chew some food. Okay, I enjoyed
That's
that.
big.
And wasn't very athletic. You know, it didn't move around a lot. Not.
Was your brother?
My brother was. He's tiny. He's a running back, scat back, wide receiver type guy. I was always a big bone guy.
Yeah.
You know, always like to eat. You
Yeah.
know, I was one of, hey mom, I finished my plate first, mom. It was me. You know, and he was the complete opposite. And but all of a sudden, from 6th grade to 7th grade, I just started growing like a weed. And I remember having all this joint pain and you know, things weren't fitting. You know, my jeans weren't fitting anymore. Looked like Michael Jackson. Just had high waters all the time. You know, shirts weren't fitting the same. I just started growing. And by the time I hit like 7th, 8th grade, I was 6'1", 6'1.5". Just tall, skinny,
No kidding.
awkward. You know, so of course everybody's like, well, you're gonna be big. You're gonna be like Shaq one day.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna be tall and things like that. I didn't grow an inch. I'm 6'2".
You're
right
6'2"?
Right at
Yeah.
6'2". Did
Yeah.
not grow an inch, but I just kept on just getting wider and stronger. And and I was terrible. I was terrible at sports in the beginning.
Really?
Absolutely terrible. Absolutely.
What did you
terrible.
play? You played football,
I played
baseball?
football, anything that my brother played, my older brother played. So he wanted to play football, we're playing football. He wanted to play basketball, we're gonna play basketball. And I was terrible, double dribbling all the time. I tell my sons all the time, you guys are a lot better than I was in sports.
Yeah.
You know, you guys had a lot more. You know, you got all these camps, and you got all these private coaches, and you got all these resources around.
Yeah.
I had the neighborhood. Okay, and everybody knows what that means. You know,
Oh, yeah.
You know, one of the ones that get picked last, and now I want to be one of the guys that gets at least. Let me see. Hopefully, somebody picks me second, or somebody puts me on their team. And I was just not that athletic. Then all of a sudden, I sprouted, and everybody's wanted me on. You know, first guy on the team.
Yeah.
So I just kept on playing. Just kept on playing.
So at what point did you actually start to become like, okay, wow, I'm actually pretty decent?
You know, it's a funny story, and I've told this story before.
Yeah.
And it was actually it was confirmed by many people, and it was actually it's been in newspapers and things like that. So, like I said, I was really tall, and I swore I was gonna be a basketball player. I was and I practiced day and night in basketball, shooting, dribbling, all that stuff, and we went to this private school at first, and we did well at the private school. We had to leave for some different reasons. We had to leave the private school, went to this other school, Gardner High School, where I graduated from. And there, the football coach was like, "Hey, you guys coming out for football?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, we're coming out for football." I knew in my head
You had already played football for
the private school.
Yeah.
And I had left the private school, and now I'm at this public
so
school.
at the other schools you were just mediocre at best.
Mediocre at best, but I was better at basketball.
Okay, got it.
You know, and so I was like, I'm putting all my eggs in basketball. I'm just gonna play basketball. I don't want to play any other sport. And so my brother had to go pick up his football equipment from the team. So we pull up to the school, me and my brother and my boys, and I'm like, don't tell the coach I'm in the car. I was like, I'm not coming out for football. I want to play basketball. I want to develop there, okay? And my brother's like, yeah, I got you. You're good. Okay,
Right.
So I kid you not, I hide in the back of the back of the car. We had this red minivan. It was when minivans first came out.
Yeah.
We're all riding around in my mom's minivan, and so I'm over there. I remember it was my sophomore year in high school. I'm hiding in the back of the car, and my brother goes in to get his equipment, and the entire football team comes out, coaches, players.
You're kidding me.
And they're all like, "Get out of the car! You're playing football." And I'm like, "No, I'm not playing football. No, I'm good. No, you're playing football. Okay, I'm 6'2", 185, 190 pound sophomore. Like, you're gonna play football."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh man, fine."
So this is going into sophomore year.
Yes.
Okay, go.
So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going out for football again. And I had told myself, I had prepped myself that whole summer, like, you ain't playing football.
Yeah.
Like, just shoot, work on basketball. And so now here I am. I'm getting football equipment. I'm just like, I don't want to do this right now. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm a basketball player. And so we get out there for training camp, and they take us to this. They take us away for training camp, and we go to training camp with these other two high schools, these really big high schools, and I'm not playing at all. I'm like the backup the backup water boy.
Right.
Okay, I'm just sitting there kind of like I'm just chilling, and the starting tight end has this gruesome injury. I'll never forget it. Dislocates his elbow. Never forget the scream that came out of this kid's mouth. I still talk to him to this day. And I was his backup. And so the coach is like, hey, you got to go in. You got to play. I'm like, did you just see what just happened? The man's arm is like pointed in the wrong direction right now. What you want me to go out there and do? And so I had to go out there and play. I was forced to play. And I played decent.
This was a tight end?
Yeah, it was like tight end, and he was also a backup defensive end. And I played decent. Nothing great, spectacular, but it was decent. Decent enough for them to be able to trust, like, okay, hey.
This is you sophomore?
My sophomore year. He could play varsity, right?
So this game, was it the varsity
This
team?
was just a scrimmage at a training camp practice that this kid got hurt, and that's why I started playing. Really started playing.
That was it?
Yeah, because the other thing is, like, when you first start playing and you're not playing, right? Like you're just sitting on the bench.
Right.
That could be discouraging.
Yes.
Right? It
Absolutely.
could be discouraging. What's and so for me, all of a sudden now I'm thrust into this playing, and people are they're counting on me to do my job. They're counting. I got all these teammates that counted on me. You're in this huddle, and all these guys get the call and like, come on, we got to do this together. Da 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 da. And so I don't know. There's something about that accountability, that fact that I had all these guys that I went to school with, that I was cool with, that I've known for a long time. That all of a sudden, like, now they're counting on me to do something. I was like, I'm not gonna let them down.
Right.
So I just did the best that I could, and then every year from then, I just got a little bit better and better and better. It wasn't one of those things where I was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, by the time my senior year came rolling around, I was being recruited by a lot of it was the old Yankee conference.
Yeah.
UMass, UConn, Boston University, which dropped football that year. Northeastern, New Hampshire, Maine, those types of schools, and I for whatever reason I did not get into those schools. And
at this point, how big were you? 6'2", what? 6'1", 6'2"?
About 205, 210.
252. This is senior year.
It's my senior year,
And you were still playing defensive end?
Yeah, I was playing. I was all-state defensive end now at the time. I mean, I'm getting
What about you do tight end as well?
I was playing tight end as well. 5 touchdowns that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple pick sixes.
Nice.
And so I was getting recruited, but as a kid, my parents worked a lot and wasn't around a lot, and so me and my brother and my siblings kind of had to raise ourselves. So I'm not gonna lie, we partied a lot. I mean, I've had a great high school experience. I've had a great college experience. I had an awesome NFL experience. I've had a lot of fun in my life.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have the grades to play Division I. And so there was a guy that came from a Division II school that had come to recruit another kid from my school.
That's why you didn't get those other schools. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those other schools were like, you need to go to prep school for a year. Mm-hmm. They all wanted me to go to prep school. Worcester Academy. There's a prep school in New Hampshire, in Maine, called Bridgerton Academy. There's Hargrave Academy down in Virginia. So they all wanted me to do prep school. But for me, I was like, I want to go to college.
And so why would you say your academics, they weren't that good?
Slipped at the time?
Yeah.
Because I didn't plan myself.
That simple.
Listen, it's self-awareness and just honor. You got to be dead honest with yourself. I didn't apply myself. It wasn't like I couldn't do the work. It was just, it wasn't enforced upon. It wasn't forced on us at the time. Yeah. We're winning a lot of games. We're really good. We won a state championship. And I, at the time, nobody was telling me, like, well, hey, you got to have this type of GPA and do this on the SATs in order to qualify for Division I. I just thought, like, hey, you're good at ball. You're gonna sign a letter of intent. You're gonna go to school.
Yeah.
So I don't get into any schools that I want to go to. And this Division II coach is like, he knows like, okay, hey, we can probably get you into school. Would you be interested? And I'm like, well, I'm not, dude. I'm not going D2. I mean, come on now.
What school was it?
Yeah, it was Southern Connecticut State University, and the guy's name was Mike Dodge.
Mike Dodge.
I'll never forget it. And he said, we would love to have you if that's a possibility. I was like, sure, buddy, no problem. I'll see you in the next life. I'm not playing D2 ball. And then I found myself without a home come, after signing day. Everybody had signed, all these, because I was on this super team in Massachusetts. So, you go get your picture taken with all these other football players that you had seen throughout the year, that you had known about, you've been to camps with, and things like that. And so I'm like, well, I got to figure out something. So I called this guy Mike Dodge up. I'm like, hey, I didn't get any of these schools. Is there still a possibility for me to just take a look at your school? He's like, yeah, absolutely. So I drive down there. I take a recruiting trip. They show me around. They give me the tour. They wine and dine me and everything like that. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll stay at this school for 1 year. Then I'll transfer to one of those bigger schools, and I'll be good to go. Go to school, sign my letter of intent, end up at Southern Connecticut State University, Division II school. And I showed up on campus 2:20, right? And I left 3:05.
What?
Yeah.
Camp?
Yeah, I showed up. No. I'm talking about after those 4 years.
Oh, 4 years. Okay, God,
yeah, 4 years. Yeah, so I showed up my freshman year 2:20, left my senior year 3:05, and just put the work in. I had a head coach that believed in me right away. I mean, right away as a freshman, he's like, "Hey, you're going to be one of the leaders of the freshmen. Away. You're going to be one of the guys that we count on." He would tell me that.
What's this coach's name? Do you remember?
Mike Cavanaugh.
Mike Cavanaugh.
Yeah, Coach Cav.
That name's kind of
Coach. Oh, sorry. Rich Cavanaugh. Sorry.
Rich Cavanaugh.
Mike's his brother. Sorry,
okay.
I was just talking to his brother on Facebook, but yeah, Rich Cavanaugh.
So how would you say that molded you in life, in your rest of your entire career in life? That one belief that the coach had in you. Would you say
huge? Poured into me right away. He'd bring me into his office and we'd have these talks. And in his office was this picture of this guy, Joe Andruzzi. And Joe played for the Patriots, won 3 Super Bowls with the Patriots. Great guy. I mean, phenomenal guy. There's a great picture of Joe in the USA Today carrying a woman during the Boston Marathon bombings. This guy, this is just a tremendous individual, right? And there's a big old picture of Joe in his office. And Joe was in his New England Patriots uniform. And I was like, that guy played here? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you can do the same thing. I'm the type of person that I believe when someone tells me I can do something, I believe them.
Yeah.
Because if they see something in me, I need to see that too.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I can play in the NFL. He's like, yeah, absolutely. You have the ability. You have the leadership skills. You have the work ethic. You can do that. He would tell me that all the time. Every year I was in the NFL, I went back to school and spoke at recruiting functions, recruiting dinners, and told that exact story. And he would get up afterwards and he would be like, I wouldn't have said it unless I meant it and I believed it. But I also knew that you would take action upon it. Someone's going to tell you, hey, I believe in you, you can do this, blah, 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 blah. Well, now it's up to that person. Now you've put the ball in that person's court. Now it's time for that person to put the work in. And that's what I did. I just put the work in. I had one guy that believed in me. Obviously my family always believes in me, but when it's somebody else that really truly believes in you and tells you, hey, you can do this, you can do that, as long as you work hard, as long as you do the work, shoot, I'm good.
And so would you say was that the reason that you didn't bother trying to go to a Division I school?
Yeah, I stayed.
Because of him?
Yeah, I stayed. I was named the starter and played great. Ended up becoming a D2 All-American, ended up becoming lineman of the year in the conference. And
so what positions were you playing throughout that?
Every position on the defensive line.
Really?
Yeah, because, like I said, I went from 220 pounds, right, which could be a defensive end,
correct,
to 305 pounds, which could be a defensive tackle.
Correct.
So I played all over the defensive front, and I didn't know how the NFL worked back then. I thought you had to be at a big school in order to be discovered. I didn't realize that they have scouts going everywhere.
Because there's guys in your position
everywhere.
that were phenomenal, but academic stuff going on that you didn't apply yourself. That doesn't mean you're not.
It could be anything. Anything. It could be, I saw a video of a guy in Australia that was, playing rugby, 6'5", 270 pounds, that can run, jump, do all the things that you want him to do as a defensive lineman. The NFL, if you can play ball and you got a work ethic and obviously you're not too crazy, they'll find a spot for you. Somebody will find you.
Wow.
And that's why, is it easier to be at a Division I school? Now you have exposure, you have TV, you have some kind of fanfare. Yeah, absolutely. Does everybody want to play Division I? Absolutely. But there is a slew of players at the 1AA level, D2, D3, NAIA, junior college, community college, whatever it may be. There's a slew of players out there that the NFL is going to find every single year. Every single year.
No kidding.
And as long as that player is willing to put in the work, they'll make it.
And so were you playing offense at all at college?
No offense whatsoever.
At what point did offense just say, you know what, forget it?
College.
Yeah? They immediately said, hey.
It's very hard to play both sides of the ball.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, and they have so many players. On the college team, there's 90, 110 guys go to camp.
Wow.
Yeah, and they keep, I want to say, on a 75 or 80 or something.
That's
like
incredible.
That. Yeah, so I just kept on working hard, and next thing I know,
when were the pro scouts coming in?
So my junior year, I had a really, really good year. My junior year, I had about 14 sacks, a whole bunch of tackle for losses. And I remember my coach called me in his office, and he goes, there's going to be a scout here tomorrow. He wants to get your height and weight, possibly get a 40 time. You good with that? I said, absolutely.
This is junior year?
Yeah, it's junior year.
Yeah.
And ever since then, that happened my junior year, the spring of my junior year. Senior year played. Next thing I know, there's scouts coming to every single practice. And we had a really good running back too that was being recruited. So there was scouts coming to every practice, training camp. There were scouts coming throughout the year. And the other guy on the team, he was getting calls from agents and things like that. I hadn't received any calls from agents at the time.
Right.
And so I'm just kind of just going along through life and just playing ball, enjoying my senior year, not knowing whether I'll ever play football again, but just working really hard. And then at the end of my senior year, like I said, I was named Division II All-American. I was named the Defensive Lineman of the Year in my conference. And then I was named to a All-Star game in Texas. It's called the Cactus Bowl.
Okay.
And so I was named all those within a week.
Yeah.
And, you were talking about, I know you were talking about earlier, like how God works.
Yeah.
And so all these things just get dumped on me within 1 week.
Wow.
And I'm being whisked away to Texas to play in this All-Star game, where at this All-Star game, you're in front of every NFL scout.
They're all there.
Yeah, they're all there. And it's all the D2 All-Americans, and we're all there together, and we're getting our height, weight, we're running, we're doing one-on-ones, we're doing all this stuff, then we're playing the game. I went away to train for 2 weeks in North Carolina. Next time I come back, I have a pro day. There's 30 NFL teams at the pro day.
How did you play in the All-Star game?
I did pretty good.
Yeah.
I did pretty good. I think I had about 6 tackles. I don't think I had any sacks or anything like that. But nobody really cares about the game. They all care about the week of practice.
Got it.
Yeah,
No
all
kidding.
The scouts, because all the scouts are there for the week of practice. They want to see how you're practicing, your practice habits. They talk to you after the game. They interview you, trying to get to. I'm not after the game, but after practice.
Yeah.
They're trying to get to know you better and things like that. So, that kind of happened, and next thing I know, I'm doing a pro day. I did a pro day for about 30 NFL scouts.
And what's a pro day? Describe that.
Pro day is like the job interview of all job interviews for any NFL player, because you can do the combine, which is a big job interview, but then your pro day is kind of like your last thing that you do in front of NFL scouts or NFL executives that tell them, like, okay, this is who he is. All right, this is his body of work as a player. This is what he is as an athlete. This is who he is as a person. They combine all that together, and they decide whether or not they want to take a chance on you.
Wow.
And that's it.
Unbelievable.
Next thing I know, I watched the NFL draft, the entire 2003 NFL draft, and my name went on. My name wasn't called.
Yep.
And which was a small blow.
Yeah.
For about 2 minutes. Small blow to the confidence.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you watch the combine. I mean, the combine, the NFL draft, thinking like, I mean, that's every kid's dream, right?
Yeah.
You hear your name. It doesn't matter if you're the first pick or the last pick. You want to hear your name be called. And at the time, I didn't know what that meant either. I mean, it was all these firsts for me, right?
Yeah.
Scouts and all-star games and such things. And all of a sudden now I'm watching this combine. I mean, this draft, and I was getting calls too. I was getting calls in the 5th round. I was getting calls in the 6th round. Got calls.
What would they say when they called you?
Hey, man, we really love you here. Stay close by. Well, if and I didn't know it at the time, but it's like a recruiting call. They're calling you because they want to gauge your interest to see if they don't draft you, well, they'll bring you in. And so I'm getting all these calls. I got a call from Tampa. I got a call from New England. I got a call from Tennessee. And I got a call from the Chargers.
And they're just basically gauging what your enthusiasm, or
yeah. What are you going to do if you don't get drafted? What happens? And I remember all those other teams were like, we may take you here. We may take you there. We like you at this position. And the Chargers, Wayne Nunley, God rest his soul, he was my defensive line coach. And he passed away last year. And he calls me up. He had this real deep voice. He was like, Jacques, he's like, we're not going to draft you. Right away he said that. But you can come in here and compete. So he told me. I said, I appreciate it. Coach Nunley, I'll see you on the field one day. I was confident. I was like, I'm getting drafted. I don't know what this guy talking about, but I'm going to get drafted. So I go undrafted, and my agent calls me. I'm kind of like, a little defeated. I was like, dang, what does that mean now? What do I do now? And my agent calls me up. He said, good news. Bad news is you didn't get drafted. Good news is you're going to San Diego. And that was it. Got on a flight the next week, met Marty Schottenheimer, Drew Brees was there, Marcellus Wiley.
So hold on, go back. I need to understand this. Why do they not draft certain players and then bring you on it anyway? Is it a money thing?
So just imagine this, right? Okay, well you do it every year when you draft for your flag football team.
Okay.
Did you guys draft players?
Not really.
They don't do that anymore.
No.
I know like baseball has like a draft, and I'm talking about youth sports right now.
Yeah.
Right? all the kids, you get this pool of kids.
It's
right?
hard to use this example with flag football.
Well, no,
I take who I get.
Right. Well, it's kind of the same thing as far as, I know in baseball, right? They all, okay, we'll say softball, right? They all get together, and all these girls, they get together and they're getting pop flies, they're hitting, right. Fielding grounders, all that stuff. And all the coaches get together and they rank all the girls, right? And then, however many girls there is, the coaches might be like, okay, hey, I want that guy, I want this girl, that girl, and I want this girl. And everybody picks all their teams, and whoever's left around, they go on the other teams. They go on those respective teams. And so the NFL is kind of the same way. You got all these players that you want to choose. And for whatever reason, it could be anything. I want JD because he can do this, this, and this, and this. You got two players that are very similar, but you might like this player just a little bit more. You'll draft this player, hoping that this guy will be around, or maybe, hey, I can get this guy after the draft. It just doesn't matter. There's no exact science with the NFL draft.
Yeah.
It's just guys, some people do it by a board.
So why doesn't the draft keep going until they're all gone?
I don't know. Someone said, like, that just taking too damn long.
Yeah.
It's 7 rounds.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's a long time, Like they used to have 12 rounds in the NFL draft.
And so does it like
after a while they say, hey, all we need is 7, and then everybody else will be an undrafted free agent.
And so once the draft is quote unquote over, do the ones that come in after traditionally get less money?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying.
So
is it a money thing? Like, hey, if we can get this guy for cheaper, let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like that. I mean, it's hey, we didn't get this guy. He's still available. Do we want to bring him in? And that's kind of what it is. I mean, after the draft ends, it's like the Wild West. There's a bunch of phone calls. Coaches are making calls. We're trying to get players to sign.
So your agent called you.
Oh yeah.
Bad news, good news. You're going to San Diego. What did you think? Like, okay.
Oh, I partied my butt off. I didn't care what it was. Remember.
Now, when you get that call, does that mean you're signed,
No,
or does that mean you're walking on?
That just means that I'm going to get an opportunity. Every single person, no matter what they sign, doesn't matter who it is, every single person
Is fighting for the job,
is fighting for a job.
even if they're signed first round, they're still fighting for their job.
Right. Now, if you're a smart coach and you got a guy that's making $10 million and he's pretty good, you're going to want to play that guy.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's some guys that they could be making that money and not care. Some guys that might have lost a step. Some guys that might be injured. For whatever reason, people play good or bad. For whatever the reason is. Could be confidence. I don't know what it is. But every single guy is out there competing for a job. Everybody.
And where did you live at this point? Were you living in Massachusetts still?
No, I was living on off campus in New Haven, Connecticut.
New Haven, Connecticut.
New Haven, Connecticut.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and so flew out there, and then next thing I know,
Were your parents fired up? Were they?
oh yeah, everybody's fired up. I mean, you're in the NFL.
Yeah.
You're doing exactly. You've gone through everything that you can go through. You've done youth sports. You've done high school sports. You've done college sports. This is the pinnacle now. You're here.
Yeah.
Right? You're here, you've made it. This is every childhood dream. And,
Okay, so get this in. So, real quick, along the journey of football, high school, college, which coach, not the pros yet, which coach was the turning point of your career? I think you already said him, right?
No, there's tons.
There's tons.
There's tons.
Really? Each
Yeah.
one had a little something?
Everybody had. My high school coach, Walter Dubzinski, I still talk to him to this day. Man's 80 years old.
Wow.
Still on the football field.
Wow.
Just, it could be the dead of winter. He'll have his sleeves up, chasing referees and talking crazy. I used to tell him, you look like a senile old man, but he loves ball. And he instilled in me, everybody that was around. He impacted so many young lives, it wasn't even funny. That's probably where I draw most of my inspiration from.
Get out of here.
Yeah, because he was just, he was like an old gruffy grandfather, and he'd have all the guys over. His wife would cook pies and desserts, and, we'd watch ball, and he was like a father figure. And he loved us like a father. I mean, I call him on Father's Day.
No way.
Because he just had such a big impact on my life. Because for him, it wasn't ever about wins and losses. For him, it was always about, okay, what is this guy? What is he going to become? What is he going to do with his life?
Wow.
And so that really inspired me. I had Rich Kavanaugh.
And that was high school. Yeah,
that was my high school coach.
What was his name again?
Walt Dubzinski.
Walt
Dubzinski.
Yeah. That's a tongue twister.
It is, yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, he had a chance to go on the sidelines of the New England Patriots game this past year when I was with the Buffalo Bills, and it was a real cool moment for me because I also got into coaching because of him.
No kidding.
Yeah, because when I had retired from the NFL, which was 2012, I hadn't been to a high school game in I don't know how long. In one of my high school games. So I had flown back home. It was Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is a big game in Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big
deal.
You're
Homecoming.
Yeah, it's like homecoming, right?
That's it.
You're playing your rivals, and so my coach's son, Steve Dubzinski, he was like, "Hey, you should come up. Walt would love to see you. The guys would love to see you. It would be pretty cool on Thanksgiving morning, right?" So I drove up Thanksgiving morning. It's about -5 degrees out.
Yeah.
And Walt's out there. Like I said, it's -5. He's at the time I think he was like 74 years old, and he's running up and down the field, yelling at the refs, talking to the players, trying to inspire coaches, trying to inspire players, and he was just full of life. And I was like, I want that.
Yeah.
I want to feel that energized at 75, 80 years old. I want to be that he had purpose,
right?
And so I was like, I want to do that right there. I don't care what level it is. I don't care if it's high school. I don't care if it's college, NFL. I want to coach ball.
Wow.
Because I remember the impact that he had on my life, but then you realize, holy crap, like these guys are impacting his life.
Yes,
They're,
right
they're
back.
giving him a reason, a purpose to get up and live and be resourceful to people every single day. And I was like, I want to do that.
No,
That's what got me.
that's
into
what
coaching.
inspired you to do it.
Yeah, that's what got me into coaching. And
Oh, man.
it was a very cool moment. But yeah, he was probably the biggest inspiration for me. Like I said, Rich Kavanaugh, another big inspiration for me.
Because he believed you right when you got there.
Yeah, there was a math teacher at my high school. His name was Bob Truax, and he was a bit of a prick to everybody.
Yeah.
And nobody was ever good to him. He said everybody sucked, right? Great guy though. He was a phenomenal guy. Yeah, and so he told the class when I wasn't even in the class. This was when I was in high school. I was my junior year in high school. He told the class because the class was asking about athletes and things like that. He was like, there's only one athlete in this whole school that can play D1 right now, and it's Jacques Cesaire. And somebody came back and told me that, and I thought that was really cool because everything I ever heard coming out of this guy's mouth was like everybody else sucked. And all of a sudden, here he is telling me I could play D1 football. So he was a bit of an inspiration for me.
Wow.
But that's what it was. It was men that took the time out to instill confidence in me, to continue inspiring me, to push me beyond what I really thought of myself at the time.
Yeah.
And so that's what really raised my self-awareness. That self-awareness, gave me a lot of confidence, and that confidence took me to this level where I'm at today.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, listen to that, because along the way, if you're especially let's talk about fathers, how important we are to kids, and especially our sons.
Yeah.
Daughters too.
Big time.
It's up, if we instill our belief in them, they need that belief. You just said it, man. Look at you.
Yeah.
You're a beast. You were a freaking beast on the football field, but even you needed that belief from other sources.
Yeah.
A math teacher.
Yeah.
And you remembered his name because of it.
Oh, yeah, to this day. Yeah.
Have you ever told him the story?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I invited him into my wedding. And,
Get out of here.
Yeah, we talked about it that day. He had no idea. He had no idea.
Was he emotional about it? He had to be, no?
Yeah, no, we talked about it, and he's like, wow, that's pretty cool. He's like, I remember that. And he's like, I believed it. He's like, I was just being honest. He's like, I believed it.
And that one statement on the fly was everything to you.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. I mean, I spend more time telling my kids they can do something than they can't do something.
Absolutely.
I spend more time instilling confidence in my kids than anything else that I can do. I mean, I tell my kids all the time I love them to death, but I spend more time on their confidence and who they are, their self-awareness than any other thing that I can do.
Because as we said earlier, man, there's nothing more important than self-confidence, self-awareness. Call it a day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
And where's it going to come from? Yes, it can come from yourself, but it's got to come from somebody else as well.
Yeah.
Most importantly, to begin, especially when they're young.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're all doubting themselves.
Oh, absolutely. Because they don't know.
They don't know.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
And I've seen, and honestly, I take from everybody, right? And I'm always, I meet a lot of people all the time. I know a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of parents, and I always just like to watch. I'm a big observer.
Yes, me too.
And there's a lot of parents out there. I've seen parents that they're very, very lax with their kids, and they're not on top of their kids a lot, and they just let their kids just live life and learn and make mistakes and things like that. And I see those kids. I've seen those kids like from when they were, 6, 7 years old to what they are now, 14, 15 years old. And I've seen the growth and development of those children. Like, there's so much into just pouring into a kid and making a kid feel like I don't care how small it is, but making a kid feel like he can do anything.
Anything.
Touch the stars, the stars in the sky. Just make them feel like they can do it. They have a chance to do it. You will see amazing results from that. Trust me, because the minute the kid doesn't think they can do it, then now they have doubt. Now they're not going to want to do stuff. They're not going to go all in on it. They're going to be afraid. They're going to be thinking about that fear, not thinking about, well, how can I get this thing done? And that's my thing. It's all about confidence for me.
I love this, man, because this interview has been huge already because we're warming up here.
Yeah,
We're warming up
I'm almost done with
because
this water
all
over
the
here.
parents that are listening to this, listen up. This interview has gotten pearls of how to sew into your children. And now take this further. We're not saying baby them.
No, not at all. And
Like, we're not saying overly coddle them.
no,
Because I'm seeing that a lot.
no,
Over
no.
coddling. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
And I'm not, and this is not like one of those participation trophies where it's like, I always find it funny because, in Houston, I've gone to a couple of my buddies, kids' youth sports, right? I've been to a couple of youth basketball games, youth track, and I'm talking about right now, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And so in Houston, I'm just listening to the parents, right? I'm just listening to what the parents saying. I'm watching the coaches more than I watch the players. I'm just watching what the adults do. And, you got the parents, they're over there. If a kid drops the ball, how you going to drop the ball? Like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, you're embarrassing me, blah, 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 right? And then, on the flip side, you listen to sports around here, and, somebody, drops a pass or something. It's okay, honey. You're doing great, baby.
Yeah.
You're doing
yeah.
fine, blah, blah, blah. No, you could still pull the kid over and be like, hey, just remember, hey, catch the ball like, it's like you're catching an egg or something like that. Or, hey, don't worry about it. You're going to get the next one, but you just focus. You don't have to tell them everything's all unicorns and butterflies and balloons. You can, coach the kid up or give them a little piece of advice or just tell them, hey, don't worry, you'll get the next one. That's how you don't take the kid's confidence away while keeping the kid's confidence, while not making the kid feel like, he's like this coddled baby.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't even say anything, or I don't care to say anything because I feel like we need to be more fans than we are coaches to our kids.
Dude, this is great because this is the first time I've ever coached kids. I've coached adults for 30 years. I've led adults. And now I'm leading children. So I'm finding myself on the field, like if they drop something or make a mistake, at first I get a little upset. I'm like, and I'll bring them over and I'll be like, hey, man, if you had gone straight and not come back, you had a touchdown.
Right.
Don't worry about it. Great run. That was a
Right.
great run.
Yeah.
Good run.
Absolutely.
But next time, boom, let's cut it out. Nice job. Boom, bada bing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm learning how to coach,
Yeah.
right? Tell them, but then congrats, say, hey, okay, good job.
Yeah.
Let's look at the positive here.
Absolutely.
It's an art form.
Yeah, so coaching for me, and so I've done 5 internships in the NFL. I coached 5 years at the University of San Diego.
That's right.
Coach, this is going to be my 3rd year in the NFL. And coaching is just
Now, sorry, I'm going to cut you real quick. Did you get calls from the NFL, or did you contact the NFL? Like when you were at USD,
Yeah.
had you already contacted the NFL, the coach, and just nobody? How did that go?
So, it's like 2 lives almost.
Give it to me.
And I'm going to write a book one day.
Good. I got somebody that can help you with that.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I got it.
It's going to be called The Ordinary Extraordinary Life of Jacques Cesaire. And, because I've had some weird stuff happen to me in my life, but it's been great. And so to play, almost a decade in the NFL, and then now I'm coaching the NFL, it's not as easy as people think it is.
Right.
First of all, the NFL lifespan, the lifespan of an NFL player is about 2.7 years.
I was going to say 3 or 4, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
And today it's even harder because there's always young talent coming in, and there's a lot of money involved now. So it's easier to get rid of older players and keep younger players. So to be in the NFL for close to a decade was one crazy feat that I did. But then also trying to get back in the NFL, because once the NFL kicks you out, which they do to everybody,
right?
It's hard to get back into that club.
Correct.
Because it's such a special shield. I mean, everybody loves football. It's a national thing.
Yeah.
They're going to have games in London. They're going to have games in Mexico. They got games in Germany coming up. This is an international deal. So, the NFL doesn't owe people anything.
Right.
And so you got to work to get back in that. So I started off, when I first started, like I said, I saw that game, watched those guys. My high school coach coached that game. That got me into training guys. So I was training draft eligible guys, DeForest Buckner, Taco Charlton, a couple guys up at Exos up here in Carlsbad, and then that parlayed into coaching high school ball. So I coached high school ball at La Jolla Country Day. We want to say CIF, and all the while I'm doing these internships in the NFL, and I'm learning how to coach. And coaching is really just teaching.
Yep.
Right? You just said it. Kid drops a pass, right? And first thing that the parents are probably going to yell out, or the coach says, or the players, that the teammates say, or catch the ball. Well, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wants to catch the ball,
Yeah.
But you did the right thing. You said, hey, great route that you just ran, or good job running.
Yep.
And then, hey, if you do this a little bit better, you tighten this up right here, then we score. If you tighten this up, then you catch it. If you tighten this up, then you pull the flag, or you make the tackle, or you make the shot. Coaching is just teaching somebody something. That's it. It's just teaching. You ain't got to yell or make someone feel bad about themselves or get all upset, because chances are most of those coaches have done that same mistake.
Oh yeah.
Or have never even been put in that position.
Right.
That's the one I really hate. I can't stand it. The coaches that, okay, all right, you're gonna yell at a kid for doing something, but you yourself have either done that same mistake, or you never even played.
Yeah.
How are you gonna tell this guy? How are you gonna yell at this kid? How are you gonna get frustrated with this kid? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To me, youth sports, all people that, and when I say youth sports, I say anything up until high school. Okay, because in high school it becomes real, and that's a whole nother animal. But youth sports, you better hope that you are inspiring that kid to love the sport. Okay, come back the next year and work out on their own without you or their parent.
Yeah.
Okay, that's youth sport, and so making a kid feel bad about dropping a pass or not making a tackle, or running the wrong route, or whatever like that. These kids ain't getting paid.
Right. Yeah.
They're not getting paid, and they're trying their best. They're all trying their best. Nobody wants to be embarrassed, and everybody wants to do good. And so if more coaches thought that way and did what you did, teach.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Once I figured that out, okay, I don't have to yell at these guys at all. My job is to master the content and then teach the content.
Yeah.
And then inspire them to go out there and do the content. That's it.
Yeah. You actually texted me last season. It was last season. I texted you about something, and you're like, "Listen, JD, at this point, at this age, the only thing that matters is that they're having fun, and they want to come back and play again.
That's
it.
That's it.
Nothing else matters."
Yeah, I see these parents. They want to win these championships and everything.
They're going
I want to ask them,
crazy.
you know how many dusty gold plastic trophies I have at my house?
Yeah.
From being a part of a team or doing something, medals and all that, ribbons and things like that. That's great. That's all for the parents. Kids ain't going to ever think about that or care about any of that stuff. Okay? They want to have fun with their friends. They want to feel like they're contributing
Part
some
of something,
way.
yeah.
They're part of something, and they're getting better at something. Okay? And that's what youth coaches need to do.
Right.
Teach, inspire, and encourage. Not discourage, right? The discouraging is the lack of courage. You're taking courage away from that kid. You're taking that kid's confidence.
Yes.
Encourage them. How can you encourage them? Figure different ways you can encourage them. And you can literally take that same model and apply it to being a parent. Apply it to being a boss. Apply that same model and being in any one of your relationships.
Yeah.
We're all here on this floating rock, going through space, all right?
Yeah.
Trying to go through life. And you said it earlier. Life is hard. All types of stuff gets thrown at you every single day. And you have to be prepared for that, whether it be being able to receive information, process information, and not be, quote unquote, butthurt about it.
Yeah.
That's taking coaching, or
Right.
be able to help somebody out, help a friend out in need, coach them through that. Everybody can do that. Every single person. That's why I love coaching.
It's got everything.
Yeah, you're communicating with people, you're teaching people. Shoot, sometimes you might just need to hug somebody.
Yeah.
Hey,
Just give them some
all right.
love.
Hey, it's all right, buddy.
I got you, bro.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, get a little
Be
love.
all right,
Yeah.
and it's a tremendous responsibility, and I love it.
It's
I
you
love
know
all
what
aspect of it.
it's funny because I didn't want to do it because my schedule is stupid. I have no time.
You're so good at it.
Well,
No, you are, and I appreciated. JD coached my son, and shout out. Did you guys win the championship?
yeah, we did.
Let's see, they got rings.
Yeah, we did. We
Right?
got it.
Yeah, and he loved football.
Yeah, he loved it.
Absolutely loved football, and they loved it because you made it fun.
Yeah,
They have plenty of time to worry about championships and doing things perfect and all. They got plenty of time for that.
yeah,
Plenty of time.
plenty of time.
Right now, just develop
Little champions, little men,
Yeah,
up and coming little champions. Develop them.
yeah.
This has helped me out, this interview, meaning, because this is to inspire others, man. But now, because I'm getting more serious about my coaching on, okay, now because I'm realizing that I need to, I've coached led adults my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you know what, I got to lead them the same way.
Yeah.
Find out what their strengths are. What is each one of their motivation? Would you say this is like finding the guys that you're leading? Each one has different motivation.
Yeah.
Right? What's guiding them? What's motivating them? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? How can you sew into them to make them better?
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. And the good players, they all want to be coached. The
Coachable,
really good,
saying coachable.
They all want to be coached. They all want to be taught. They all want to be, they want to feel like they're getting good information. And that's it. Just give them good information and let them go.
Yeah.
Let them live. Let them mess up.
All right, so let's go back a little bit here to the NFL days.
Are we still back on 5th grade right now?
I don't know where are we? I lost track. And I never lose track. No, we made it to high school. We made it to the draft.
We're in the NFL now.
We were in the NFL, but I'm going. Yeah, okay. But no, we got onto coaching. How do we get to coach? How do we skip so fast? All right, let's go back. Give me some life in the NFL.
Oh,
give me some life in the NFL.
Life in the NFL. I'll tell you this. It's the best job I've ever had in my life.
No kidding.
I don't care. I mean, I'm just talking professional sports.
When did you realize, by the way, when you moved to San Diego, like, oh, wow, this is paradise?
Oh,
like
the minute I landed here.
Yeah.
It was like 78 degrees. I remember the first
and what year
week.
was this?
It was 2003.
2003.
Spring 2003.
And when? So you have 3 kids?
Yes.
3, okay.
Yeah.
And so I know that Ivy, is it?
Vivi.
Yeah.
I
always get confused a little bit. So Vivi is 12 or 13?
13, yeah.
Okay, so by the time you moved out here, no, give me the timeline.
Yeah, I didn't have Vivi till 2009.
Okay,
so
geez.
yeah, so I'm just
Way
chilling.
off.
I'm chilling in the NFL for at least
Got it. Okay.
6 years before I had
Got it.
children.
So when you got out here, you realized it was paradise right away. Give me some life in the NFL. Give me some learning lessons along the way that you can give some pearls, dealing with teammates, starting to get paid lots of money. What happened when you started getting paid lots of money?
Well, I'll
what
say
happened
this.
there?
We all so I got on when I came to the Chargers. It was 2003.
Yep.
And we were terrible. Okay, team went 4-12.
Yep.
And I'll never forget it. I was in the Bahamas, and I turned on SportsCenter. You know how they have the little ticker?
Yeah.
It was after the season, and half my team was on the ticker. They had cut like half the team. And that's when I knew like life was real in the NFL because it's not for long.
It's a business.
Like, you're gonna get fired. And when you get fired, everybody knows it. And so I was out here and working hard that first year, but then I just started kind of just enjoying San Diego and enjoying the NFL. Really just working my butt off to try and start. Because then we started bringing in all these superstars, right? So Sean Merriman comes to the door. We already had LT here. Drew Brees becomes Drew Brees. Gates comes on the scene, and we start winning. And so the cool thing about all those guys, all my teammates, we were brothers first of all, but we all did stuff together. If somebody had an event, we all went to the event. Because we're all young.
Yeah.
We're all between the ages of 23 and 27, 28, and we had a couple old Gruffy veterans. Lorenzo Neal.
Yeah.
He was an 18-year vet at the time, and he was kind of just steering us in the direction that we had to go and teaching us how to work hard.
Was he one of your first leaders, you would say?
Oh, yeah. Him, Robin Oben, Steve Foley. Breezy was probably one of the best leaders I've ever been around.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. Very, very focused, very detail-oriented. And so, like I said, we're all young. We did everything together. So we went to events together. You went out to the club together. You went to bars, restaurants. We were just always together. And next thing you know, those guys become brothers, and you're playing alongside your brother. That was it. And I still talk to those guys to this day. I mean, Sean Phillips came to one of my practices in Houston and came over the house and hung out, with his son.
Yeah.
I still talk to Marcus Harris all the time. I still talk to Luis Castillo. I still talk to Sean Merriman sometimes. And, those guys were like brothers, and we had a heck of a time here in San Diego and Los Angeles and Vegas and things like that. We had fun. We had fun, but we played good ball. We worked hard. We tried to win a championship.
Yeah.
And fortunately it didn't happen, but it was a great time to be playing football in San Diego, and it was a great time to be a Charger, and without incriminating anybody or getting myself in trouble. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
We'll sum it up with a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, yes, absolutely.
All right, so then when kids came in the mix, when they just happened to arrive,
Yeah.
how did life change at that point?
Obviously, when you have your first child, it changes everything, because now you're responsible for a life.
Yeah.
And everything that they do. You got to teach them everything.
Yep.
It's the ultimate coaching.
Oh yeah.
You got to teach them everything, and it never stops. My mom still calls me up to this day, and tries to give me advice and talk to me about life.
Yeah.
And I still call her mama.
Where does she live? Where does she live?
She lives in Massachusetts.
Oh, she is? Okay.
Same house.
How old is she? Same house?
Yeah, same house. Since 1993.
And how old is she?
64
Okay.
years old now.
Yeah.
And so,
Does she have an accent?
Oh yeah, both my parents have heavy accents.
Really?
Oh yeah, big time accents.
How come you didn't carry on an accent? It went away?
I think it was MTV. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think MTV Raps.
MTV Raps.
BT, you just don't get an accent. You're around kids, American kids all the time. So, but no, it was. I felt like it was a tremendous responsibility that God would trust you with a life. And so, I take that seriously as a provider, protector, and as a guidance and a resource for my children every single day. I'm very just anything they do, I want to be immersed into.
Yeah.
And I live in Houston and they live in San Diego, but we make it work as much as we can.
Right.
I FaceTime and talk to my kids morning, noon, and night. Any chance I
And this is because
get.
with the NFL, you're over there full time.
Yeah, I'm over there full time. They stay in San Diego, and I work hard so they don't have to struggle,
Yep.
and that doesn't mean that I can't keep them from ever having any type of struggles in their life, but I just the way we do it is so they are okay, their lives aren't going to be interrupted. Because I was told a long time ago, if you want to get in this business, you have to build your house on a house. Build your house on wheels.
On wheels.
Yeah. That's what I was told. Build your house on wheels. Don't ever feel like you're going to be grounded and stay in this one area. I spent 2 years in Buffalo, and they went like this.
Quick.
Saying no. And the transition from Buffalo to Houston was literally 2 days.
That's it.
I did an interview I flew down and did the interview on a Friday night. I did the interview Saturday morning, flew back Saturday night, packed all my stuff up on Sunday, and I flew back to Houston on Monday and started work.
Wow.
I mean, that's how quick it happens. And so I never wanted to put my kids in that predicament where they are moving from, this state to this state, to this school to this school. I just wanted them to have, because I as a child, obviously I moved around a lot. I understand what that does. Sometimes that can do to a kid.
Right.
And so I just wanted to be like, okay, you're grounded in San Diego. You guys have a heck of a life. Daddy will try and come in and out as much as I can, and make sure that everything's copacetic, and away we go.
And so how is that as far, because you're a very, very invested in your children. It must be sometimes because when you have to, because you got a job, and your job, by the way, of sowing into other human beings is this is not just a job. This is a calling.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's funny. I tell people all the time, I don't set alarms. I never set alarms.
Yeah.
I wake up 4:30 every day, whether it's a weekend or not, and I just try to get up and just start my day. And part of that is you have purpose.
Yeah.
And my purpose is I want to be a great father. I do. And I actively work on being a better father. I actively, read and study books on children's psychology and whatever podcasts I can listen to just be just a better resource for them. At the same time, I understand that every single one of us has our own calling. Every single one of us has something that makes us get up every single morning to live life. My purpose to me is to impact as many lives as I can.
Yep.
As many lives as I can, and just positive, just give them as much positive energy, just pour into them as much as I can, because that's what I felt like God has wanted me to do. I mean, I've always been that way. And I feel like that's one of the gifts that God has given me. And so for me, I think that show my kids that you can still be a great father, still be a great mother, yet do what you are called to do. Yes, there's going to be sacrifices. No matter what, with any growth, and this is important for everybody to understand, with any growth in your life, there's going to be pain. With any type of growth that you get in life, you're going to have some kind of pain. You're going to have some kind of perseverance. You're going to have some kind of conflict. You're going to have something that is going to be, some kind of tough road to navigate. But you got to just keep pushing forward. We grew up in the 80s when the superhero could be Rocky or Schwarzenegger or one of those guys. During the movie they're on top, then boom, they fall flat on their face. And what they got to do? They got to fight, claw, scratch, whatever they can to keep climb themselves out of that hole to make it. And so I feel like that's what we need to give to our children. That's what we need to. That's the idea that we have to have for ourselves. That no matter what's going on. Yeah, the storm is coming. There's gonna be a storm that comes. I have to, whether I'm a very spiritual man. I believe in God. God helps you navigate through that storm. If some people might not believe in God or whatever like that, well, shoot, then you got to navigate through that storm. You got to be ready to go through that storm. And whenever you do that, you'll be good. But it's gonna take. There's gonna be some kind of pain. There's gonna be some kind of something that you don't want to have to go through, but you got to.
And it's about being to be committed to growth. Because I think you and I are the same animal when it comes to this.
Yeah.
And I've said it on my podcast a million times. What drives me to wake up and be freaking passionate as I am 24/7 is because I know I have a calling, a God calling on my life to make a difference, to make an impact, to lead others, to inspire, to motivate, to encourage. I'm freaking driven by it. I love it.
I can see it.
Which is why we're doing this podcast, why I'm digging this gold out of you so you can inspire others. So, so talk to me about faith, because you keep mentioning God and faith. So talk to me about faith. How early on in your life when did faith come in? Did your parents instill that in you? Talk to me about that and how that's guided you along the way.
So my mother is very, 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 very religious.
Really?
Yeah, and so I've been in the church since since I can remember.
Yeah.
And always praying, and she would. They used to call me Pastor Jacques when I was a young.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like to read. You know,
Yeah.
I got a vivid imagination, and so when I read books, it's like a movie to me, and I can see that thing like it's a weird thing where I just like to read.
Right.
And so, have you ever read some of these stories in the Bible?
I have.
There's some crazy stories in
I'm-
the Bible. So
I started digging into the Bible the past
Okay.
6 months.
Okay.
I will be frank with you. I'm not a great reader because my mind it's hard for my mind to focus.
Okay.
So, but one of my homies, man, Colin Higginbottom, got me the Maxwell Leadership Bible,
Okay.
so I can digest it better.
All right.
Makes sense.
What Higgin? What?
Higginbottom, Colin. He's the pastor at Awaken Church.
Shout out to Con Higginbottoms. Love that last name, by the way.
Higginbottom, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Makes me look like I'm subdued and not passionate. That's that's how intense and passionate this guy is. He's
That's awesome.
unbelievable. We're like two brothers.
Spirit animals.
There you go.
Okay.
He got me the Maxwell, the guy who wrote all the positive, books of personal development books.
Yeah.
So he actually did a version of the Bible that has more easy for someone like me to understand the stories.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of money. So back in the day, you had 13 channels. We weren't living in the best place, so we weren't going outside a lot. And so I'd read the Bible, and there was some crazy stories in the Bible, where you got guys, killing 1,000 people with a donkey bone, a donkey jawbone, or something like that, or Moses parting the Red Sea, or even Jesus on the cross, or the flood, or there were just these amazing stories, the archangels coming down and having these battles and things like that. I saw that stuff. That it was real to me when I was reading that as a child. So I've always just been in the church my whole life, and I just think no matter what, with faith, it's a personal relationship between you and God. And just like with any relationship, you have ups and downs, and it's okay to be upset. Shoot, he gave us that emotion, that emotion.
Yeah.
we all have that emotion, and but I think as everybody has to have something that they believe in that's bigger than them. And I don't profess to know what's gonna happen when I pass, when I die. My faith tells me what's gonna happen, and I believe in that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I believe in that, and then whatever happens from there happens from there. But I feel that everybody has to, in some way, somehow, believe in something that's greater than them, and it's a tricky topic for a lot of people to get into. Some people believe, some people don't believe. But even the people that don't believe, that's belief in something.
Right.
Yeah. And to me, there's a lot of things that science explains, and there's a lot of things that science doesn't explain. But for me, I just look at what nature does. Okay, we all have this instinct to believe in something. We all have this instinct to worship something. I don't care what the hell you think. I mean, every single person listening to this podcast, every single person in this world worships something. They may think they don't, but they do. It could be food, it could be shopping, it could be your children, it could be your job, it could be your spouse, it could be your car, it could be your status, whatever it is. There's something that every day somebody's thinking about that more and worshiping that and putting that up on a pedestal than they are God, because we have that. He gave us that ability. He gave us that natural instinct to believe and worship. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Believe and worship. I don't care who you are. Even if you say, "No, I don't believe in God," that's stupid. Well, that's a belief.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a belief, and you're gonna stick to that belief because you have faith in that. Correct?
Yeah.
Right. We all have that ability. We all have that instinct. So for me, if we have, that's a natural instinct for people. There has to be a reason why that's in us. There has to be a reason why that's in us. Besides the fact that but besides our what we believe, what our faith is, there has to be a reason why that is a natural instinct for every single human being. I mean, since the dawn of time, they're drawing up things where they're worshiping something.
Something.
Something. Doesn't matter what it is. They're making little figurines to worship something. Okay? We go after a Super Bowl every year, and they make that beautiful Lombardi trophy into something. That, to me, sometimes I have to check myself because that becomes an obsession.
Yeah.
It literally is an obsession.
Yeah.
Where it's like
an idol.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all it really is. I mean, look at all these kids. My kids they have all these trophies and these rings and things like that. They love that stuff because it's some type of it's a natural instinct in them to want to have something like that. Shiny, it's gold. I love it. It validates me. It makes me feel like I'm good. You know? And to me that's all part of faith. That's all part of what God put inside of us to ultimately have a relationship with him.
Right.
And it's just been important in my life and a lot of things that I do. And like I said, you can. There's times when, you know, we say that we're separate from God or I'm lost or whatever like that. There'll be times when that happens. It has to be because that's all part of a relationship. Right? There's ebbs and flows and everything. You know, you just got to keep pushing forward.
And Jacques, so. And something that's happened to me over the past year since I'm getting more embedded, engulfed, and into the church is what I've realized is that your Heavenly Father, God, what's basically been monumental for me in my life is that I know that He believes in me no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
And you said this earlier, man, about you with who you coach and your children. It's almost the stamp of this entire interview.
Right.
Is self-awareness, self-esteem, confidence. Don't let any man take your confidence away. We can be rest assured that our Heavenly Father, because I had a father, but I didn't. He was completely non-existent. And the people in my church are now saying, JD, it's okay because you've got a Heavenly Father that loves you, that cares about you, that no matter what you do, believes in you, and is instilling in you your calling on this earth, right?
Well, I mean, I'll take it a step further.
Talk to me about that.
I'll take it a step further. Just think about okay, your father wasn't in your life, right?
Yeah.
But God, while you were growing up, no matter what, He instilled little father figures in your life, all over the place.
Right.
You are not the person that you are without some kind of male influence in your life. Would you agree with that?
I mean, would.
It could be a trainer, it could be a coach, it could be one of your friends. I don't care who it is. God will put every type of resource He needs. It might not be traditional. It might not just be a traditional. Hey, there's your dad. You look up to him. Hey, come on out. Let's go play catch, and let me tell you about life and the birds and the bees and all that. It might not be traditional. It could be in the form of a friend. It could be in the form of a friend's father. It could be in the form of a coach. It could be a mother.
Dude, I was literally waiting for you to pause to tell you it was in my mother.
It could, and honestly, it could be God was like, okay, well,
she was a better father figure than any man I could have ever hoped for.
I've seen that
for real.
And I've seen
straight up.
Yeah, and you don't, like I said, it doesn't have to be traditional,
right?
But He's still gonna put those resources right there for you to take advantage of, or just be like, I don't have my father here.
Exactly.
You can focus on the negative, or you can be like, well,
I never thought about it.
Oh, this girl's pretty cool.
I never thought about it, never focused on it, never was like, woe is me. Right. I just say it so people know that it happened to me.
Right.
And that the way that I am now, they're like, oh, wow, he's a passionate, positive guy. Right. He didn't have a dad.
Right, yeah.
Look at him. Yeah. That's the only reason I bring it up. I don't bring it up like, oh, my God, look, pity party for me. No, not at all.
And you're right about that. I apologize to all the mothers out there. There are a lot of mothers that are raising
boys. Oh, 100%,
There's a lot of
dude.
mothers that are
100%
doing their thing as much as they can to try and, raise a man without a father figure there.
Yes.
And they're doing the best that they can, And
that's another reason to get them into sports, because then you have a male coach.
Something.
Right?
Something.
And I take that, that's why I take that very seriously, because I know that there's families of kids that I'm coaching that are either separated or going through bad breakups or divorced, where maybe he doesn't have that role model as much as he used to.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I know that I'm now filling a little bit of that gap.
Oh, absolutely.
I take that seriously.
Absolutely, as you should, because like I said, those years of development, especially at the age you're talking about.
Yeah.
0 to 7 or 0 to 8, I think is
huge.
Like where kids make the most, have the most development and have the most influence put on them.
Right.
And so
where they're influenced the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're at that age right now where those kids are looking at you like whatever you say is gold.
Yes.
So that's a tremendous responsibility.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to land this plane here.
Okay.
And I want to land it with you firing off on some, because I'm trying to put myself, because I know that there's listeners and watchers right now, especially with the climate of our society, the country's in right now, which is frankly a mess, right? And at least the media is portraying it to be a complete mess.
Well, let me say this.
Go ahead.
I always, like I said, I talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm always intrigued by when people say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, this world's coming to it. This is the worst that the world's ever been. It's the worst that this country's ever been in.
Yeah.
Right.
This is why I'm getting you
right
going.
now is the worst that the country's ever been in. Why? Because of the economics, because of gun laws, because of what? I mean, did we not forget that there was slavery for 400 years in this country? Did we not forget that we've had riots? Did we not forget that that there have been assassinations of presidents, of great world leaders in this country?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and then if you want to go further back, I mean, we've had world wars.
Yeah.
We've had civil wars. We've had some stuff where you look around and like, holy crap, like, this is bad news, okay? You know what those people kept on doing? They kept on pushing forward.
Yeah.
They kept on keeping it moving.
Yeah.
And there was always, no matter what, there's always an element of good people, good core people that will continue to make this country great. Yeah, we have issues.
Yeah.
We're always going to have
Always
issues.
going to have issues.
I've been listening to the same issues as a child now that I'm an adult. Say you can go back and listen to any type of presidential debate, and they'll still be talking about the same thing. We gotta get more money for people. We have to have some kind of better gun laws or some kind of laws put in place for weapons. The Roe versus Wade thing now. I mean, this has been going on forever. It ain't going anywhere.
Right. So tell the people, preach. What do they do? Because they're all buying into it. The media, the hype. I know how I feel, but preach onto how, like you just said, there's enough good people at all times that'll keep this country great.
Yeah.
So if they're watching and listening, light a fire under their ass. Tell them to step up.
Well, I got 3 things. I have
Tell
this
'em.
like little mantra on my at my house in Houston. Is I look at it every morning, sometimes at night, and it just reminds me of how I want to live my life. Okay, work hard, be humble, be kind.
Love it.
Okay, work hard, be humble, be kind. All right, just be kind, people. All right, there's enough. Excuse my language. Shitty people in this world that are mean to people for no absolute. And mind you, just remember, if somebody is acting a certain way, or if you feel like that person or place or entity is bad, or they're just what's the word I'm looking for? Most people act a certain way because of what's happening in their lives.
Correct.
Whether it be childhood trauma, something. Okay, and so sometimes if somebody does you wrong or something's happening in this world that you don't like, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with that person or that entity. So I think this all these different topics in our world that are hot and heavy, that are bothersome to people, as long as that there's good people involved and people are doing it for the right reasons, not money, okay, but for the right reasons, I think that things will be better. Things will be better. We're human beings, and we naturally, instinctively, actually do love each other. When you meet people, you most people, when you meet somebody, you're like, I don't know about this guy, da, 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 da. You know, I'm the kind of total opposite.
Yeah.
When I meet somebody, any male I meet, I go through these two things. Every male I meet is not a threat. Every male that I meet is not a threat. Okay? Every woman that you meet is not a sexual object. Okay? Every male that you meet is not a threat. Every woman that you meet is not a sexual object. Everybody could just be cool. Just be cool. I mean, we kicked it off great because I looked at you as big and hulking. I mean, you look like the Incredible Hulk over here, right? All right. But the minute I met you, I was like, yo, he's not a threat. He's cool.
Yeah.
We kicked it off great.
Kicked it off
right?
immediately.
Immediately. You know?
I
mean, every man is not a threat. Every woman is not a sexual object. Go on through life, loving people, be kind, work hard, be humble, and you'll be good.
And the people that are struggling right now with this, that can't wrap their mind, that are, let's say they're trying to find their purpose. What can they do right now moving forward? What would you say everybody has the same purpose?
No.
Okay, so what are they doing? How do they finish with something? Give me something that you can rile them up when they listen to this thing at the last 5 minutes. They're like, oh man, all right, I'm gonna make some changes. I'm gonna change my mindset.
Right. Well, changing your mindset, that's the first thing that you have to do. You have to flip it to more of a positive mindset. Okay. Now, I know you talked about energy before and things like that. Okay, and you know, anything that has to do with that energy, manifestation, and vibration, everything like that. That's all God inspired as well. Okay, manifesting to me is just praying.
Yeah, right.
Okay, good energy, whatever it is. If you're just being positive things are gonna happen to you because you're being positive. You know, and you can look at things. We all have a choice. That's what God has given us, right? We all have a choice to look at it positive, to look at it negative.
That's right.
Right?
2 options.
So you got 2 options.
That's it.
It don't ever change. You can't look at it, well, I'm not going to care about it. No. You're either going to look at it positive or you're going to look at it negatively. If you choose to look at it positive, no matter what it is, chances are you'll have a better positive outcome with said subject.
That's right.
You know, if you're going to look at it negative, then that's what you're going to get. And you know, unfortunately, some people actually like negativity.
Yeah, they thrive off negativity.
They really do thrive off negativity.
They thrive. So this is the perfect way to end this interview. If you look at things in a positive way, things are most likely going to turn out positive. If you look at it a negative way, things are going to most likely turn out negative.
Absolutely.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
And let's not all be. We can dictate our own happiness. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Rather than allowing who's ever in charge, like you said, this stuff's never going to go away.
Yeah.
We're always going to be quote unquote infighting.
Yeah, and it's not really. I mean, you're always gonna have. We're not all the same people.
Yeah.
We don't have all the same ideas. We don't have. No matter what you do, if you are on one side of the spectrum, that means the other side is disagreeing with you. It's just that simple. It doesn't mean that you're wrong. It's just means that one side feels this way, the other side feels this way. Can we all work together and come up with a resolution for all these hot topics? I hope so. I'm positive.
I'm positive.
I
have faith.
I have faith. I'm positive. You know, I've seen so many things. We all have.
Yeah.
You know, just imagine like what our kids are going through right now. They've seen, they've heard about 9/11. Now they're talking about COVID.
Ugh.
It feels like COVID must be from the hood because COVID got every type of cousin coming out, every variant of COVID. And you don't want to mess with COVID because they got all types of cousins just waiting around the corner to jump you.
I'm telling you.
And so you got all this thing going on in this world right now for this generation to absorb. And it's
What's the best way we can help the generation coming up, the kids, the generation? What's the best way we can help as parents, as adults listening to this thing right now? What's the best way we help them?
Let them live.
Let them live.
Let them mess up. Let them go through life. They're going to be in charge pretty soon, people.
And instill confidence in them.
You better instill confidence in them and just let them live life and go through life and let them mess up. Let your kids mess up because that's the greatest. The greatest teacher of life is life. Yeah. Going through life. You can tell your kid, hey, don't touch that stove, or just, maybe he burns himself one day. I tell you what, he'll never do it again.
Yeah.
He'll never do it again.
Folks, just let him live. That's it.
Let him live.
Let him live and instill confidence in them. My man, Jacques Cesaire.
Where can I get arms like that?
Real deal talk, dude. It's been a pleasure, brother. It's been a pleasure. There it is. Give it a gun. It's been a pleasure. Real deal talk. That's a wrap.
You.
Appreciate it, brother. That was fantastic. Loved it.